Exclusive television interview with a rock legend, Pete Townsend. He's talking about the reworking of The Who's rock opera, Quadrophenia. Released as an album way back in 1973, it was later made into a film starring Sting. But now Townsend has decided it's time to introduce Quadrophenia to a new generation. Our entertainment correspondent Lucrezia Millerini went to ask why.
And I can get that even tan look on my face.
A song he wrote almost 40 years ago. Quadrophenia is the Who album Pete Townsend says he's most proud of, not least because it was made at a time when, according to him, the band was starting to lose their way.
One of the reasons I'm proud of it was that I succeeded at a time, I think, when the band were very potent and very powerful, very successful, but they were also a little bit off the wall. We needed to relink with our roots, which was this neighbourhood where we are now, Shepherd's Bush, Hammersmith, West London, and our first big engagements where we'd found connected with our local mod audience and with boys that we'd been at school with.
Going on to inspire the 1979 film of the same name, Quadrophenia, the concept album, revisited the mod subculture of the 60s, but it was released in 1973. Britain was entering an economic downturn with a 3-day week, unemployment on the rise, and an increasingly disaffected youth.
It was a recessionary period, and there were some of the things going on in 1973 that are happening today, but in the 60s, the mod movement was about young guys who had the money to buy the clothes and pose in them.
Emerging from the West London music scene in the early 60s, The Who went on to become one of the world's most successful bands, known for their energetic stage shows. And while Quadrophenia was and still is considered a landmark album, touring it was fraught with difficulty.
I was following this Indian master called Meher Baba. Keith Moon was buying a Rolls Royce every week that he couldn't pay for. John Entwistle had so many brass instruments and toys in his life that he could barely move. And Roger Daltrey, post the Quadrophenia film, with his long hair and his rippling muscles, was fighting beautiful women off left, right and centre. All four of us were nuts.
This special edition of the album contains many of the notes and sketches Townsend made at the time, something he hopes fans now will appreciate.
This is the one where I put in the most energy into the detail, specifically trying to come up with stuff that the fans wouldn't already know. Most of them know much more about The Who than I do.
Lucrezia Millerini, London Tonight.
Right.